start with chest opening today. And that means I'd like to invite you to start on your back. And you can use a folded up blanket, or if you have a throw pillow, that works as well. But we're basically going to drape our upper body over the top of this. And you may or may not need something under your head, but once you get into position, then you can decide. So I'll show you how to set up, or if you have a way that you normally set up, then that's great. But we mainly want to focus on getting our shoulder blades on this support. And then I like to use my heels to just kind of push myself onto that a little bit more deeply. And that helps open up through the upper back as well. And then the arms can be in whatever position feels comfortable for you, out to the sides or overhead, cactus arms. Just find what works for you. And we'll settle in here for a little bit of breathing to get ourselves centered. Eyes can be open or closed. And if at any point this gets to be too uncomfortable or too much, you can take that support out from under you and just lie flat on your mat. And let's just notice at first how our breathing is in this moment. Maybe noticing that as our chest is more open, we have a little more space to breathe. You might feel the movement of the rib cage. And then when it feels appropriate, bring awareness down to the belly and notice the belly rising and falling with your breath. After a few inhales and exhales, let's begin to notice the pause in between each part of the breath. So we have an inhale, a natural pause, an exhale, and a natural pause. Just gradually allowing our breathing to slow down, become more natural. And then maybe noticing the length of the inhale compared to the length of the exhale. Don't have to change anything, just notice how it is in this moment. Body needs to be calmed a little bit. You can intentionally lengthen that breath out. We'll just stay here for 2 or 3 more deep breaths. And then whenever you're ready, just slowly turn to one side and slide that support out. We're going to remain on our back for a little bit longer, but just kind of slide it out to the side, returning to your back and releasing the arms, aligning the spine nice and long. So just slide the tailbone toward the heels. And then let's lift our right leg and just pressing the heel up towards the ceiling. I want to engage this thigh a little bit and also engage the back. So if you like, you can place hands behind the thigh and press into the hands a little bit, just to engage the muscles of that leg for a moment. Without lifting the hip, keeping our hips against the ground. And it's okay to keep a little bend in the knee too. especially if you're feeling really tight behind your leg today. And then just softening. You can keep the hands there if you like, or let them rest anywhere they're comfortable, but slowly rotate the ankle. And then reversing and circling the other direction. Maybe point and flex a few times. And then pressing our heel up to the floor and engaging our belly a little bit, let's slowly extend through the heel as we lower that leg down. Of course, at any time you can bend your knee if that is more comfortable for you. Once that heel lands, let's extend our right arm overhead and just reach through the right arm and the right leg. So we get a little bit of an arc through the right side of the body, opening up to the right. Still breathing deeply. Open up all the way around the ribs today. Then coming back to center, bringing our right foot back to the floor and extending our left foot to the ceiling. Beginning by just activating the leg a little bit. A little bit of energy into the leg and the foot, the ankle. Noticing maybe how this affects your breath when you activate these muscles. And then just releasing, softening, and beginning to circle through the ankle. Hands can stay there or move somewhere else. Sometimes I like to place my hands on my belly just to notice the belly continuing to move with the breath. Let's reverse and circle the other direction. And then pointing and flexing a few times. Pressing up through the heel, engaging through the center of the body a little bit for support, and then slowly lengthening the leg downward all the way to the mat. Take your time, there's no hurry. Noticing if this side feels a little different than the other side, maybe a little more cooperative or a little less. Once the heel's all the way down, let's extend our left arm overhead and just lengthen through the left arm and the left leg and create that little arc through the left side of the body. Deeply breathing. Coming back to center, releasing the right leg down and bringing the right arm up. And let's just find a nice long body stretch, letting the back lift from the floor as we roll down towards the tailbone in our sacrum. And then release back to neutral spine, walking both feet to the right side of the mat, both arms, shoulders, and head to the right. So now we have a deeper arc through the left side. A little crescent moon here on the floor. And coming back to center. Bringing both knees into the chest for just a moment before we do the other side. Just lift the hips, bringing the knees in closely and then release. Creating a little length through the low back. Do that a couple of times. As you're ready, releasing one foot at a time to the floor to keep that back relaxed, and then extending the legs, arms overhead, and when ready, let's walk our feet to the left edge of the mat, arms, shoulders, and head follow, creating a nice deep arc through the right side of the body. Breathing deeply into the right side. And coming back to center. Bending both knees, bringing our feet to the floor and releasing our arms down by our sides. We'll do 2 or 3 just rolling bridges here. So walking the heels towards the hips. Keeping the knees nice and parallel so the inner thighs are going to stay right where they are. No relaxing out to the sides of the knees. And then inhaling, rolling the hips up towards the ceiling. And exhaling, rolling down 1 vertebra at a time. So let's continue this maybe 2 or 3 more times in your own rhythm. So there's no hurry. Just listen to your breath. And allow the hips to lift on the breath in and to roll down on the breath out. So this will be our last one. You can feel free to hold it here for a breath or 2 if you like, or just continue to roll down and rest. Let's breathe deeply into the ribs, into the upper chest, lengthening away through the knees, and then rolling back down. And bringing those knees in 1 more time, and we'll just circle the knees around. So you can circle both knees in the same direction or circle them independently. Whatever you've chosen, let's reverse and go the other way. And when you're ready, come on to your seat. We'll do a couple of things seated here, rolling to one side first. And if you want to place that blanket under your hips for a little bit of elevation to keep the hips comfortable, then go ahead and do that as well. We'll begin in our staff pose with our legs extended forward and sitting nice and tall. And just settling in here for a moment. Then when ready, just rotating from the shoulders so the palms or the hands are facing back, fingertips. And then let's find a place behind us where we can settle our palms into the ground, whether it's on your mat. Mine's sideways, so obviously I'm not able to keep my hands on the mat, but we just want to make sure that we're really solid here through the palms. And then roll the shoulders back just a little more. Maybe even squeezing the shoulder blades together a little bit. Notice what the head does. If the head is reaching forward, then just slide it back. So get a nice long line through the back of the neck. And then once again with our breath, as we extend through both feet, let's open up a little more, maybe lifting our gaze. And as we breathe out, releasing back, pulling our toes toward our shins. And let's do this movement for a few times, a few breaths. We'll do about 3 of these, moving in and out, and then we're going to hold it and just breathe so we can really get some opening in that upper chest. Make sure the elbows are comfortable, so if they get too locked out, they might get uncomfortable, so keep a little soft in there. Opening here and holding and just focusing on breathing in the upper chest. Remembering those brief pauses in between inhales and exhales. Releasing back to neutral, coming upright, and bring the soles of our feet into our cobbler's toes. We can shift a little bit from one side to the other, just letting the knees release towards the floor. Give yourself a little foot massage if that feels helpful this morning. Remember the toes. Toes need that attention as well. And then allowing the hands to rest wherever they're comfortable. Doing a little bit of rolling forward and back on the sitting bones, the sits bones. So as we inhale, let's roll forward onto the base of the pelvis. And as we exhale, let's roll back. We'll begin just with this very subtle movement, and then you can include the back in there as well. So a little subtle movement here. And if you'd like to take it a little bit deeper, then as you roll forward, you can lift up through the chest a little more, almost like a seated cat-cow. And as you breathe out, you can round the back. So whatever expression is most beneficial for you. And whenever you're ready, just finding your way to neutral. We'll extend both legs forward once again. Sitting nice and tall through the sitting bones. And crossing our right ankle over our left. And if you need to adjust to get those legs a little more centered, go ahead. Inhaling the arms out to the sides, palms up. Exhaling, twisting to the right. Twisting from the upper back. Breathing here for a moment. Coming back to center. Release the arms down, fingertips to the floor, uncross the ankles, and we'll do a couple of breaths here with the arms. Inhaling the arms up. And exhaling when ready, arms floating down. One more in your own time. Inhaling up when you're ready. Exhaling, releasing. And then crossing our left ankle over our right. Inhaling, arms to shoulder height. Exhaling, twisting to our left. Of course, at any time, if this is too much, you can bend the elbows and just bring the fingertips to the top of the shoulders, or release the arms completely. Breathe. Coming back to center. Releasing those arms down. Uncrossing the ankles. And this time we'll lift one arm at a time into a side stretch. So you can leave the legs extended or you can cross them if that feels better for you. Inhaling, right arm lifts up to the ceiling. Exhaling, up and over. Releasing that left shoulder down. Hold here for a couple of breaths. And then with our next inhale, let's open that right arm towards the back. Releasing it back to center. Next exhale, right arm comes all the way down. Inhaling the left arm up, no hurry, take your time. Exhaling up and over. Holding here for a breath or two. With our next inhale, opening that left arm toward the back. And when ready, bring it back to that arch position. Next breath out, releasing it all the way down. And then making our way back down to our backs. Do one more little twist here. Once you're on your back, then go ahead and pull the knees back into the chest. And just rock from side to side. And And when ready, let's rock all the way over to our left side, keeping the knees bent. And we'll extend the arms in front of us so the palms are together. If you need to, you can bring that blanket under your head. Sometimes when we're on our shoulder, it feels like we really don't have enough support under our head. So you can do that and just make sure that you'll be able to roll to the other side without compromising the position of the neck. So we don't want the support to be too high. And see if you can look down and see the knees and keep them nice and stacked. There'll be a tendency for the hip to want to slide back when we do this twist. So let's keep those knees nice and stacked. And inhaling the right arm up. That is if you're on your left side. And then we'll reach that arm over until the knees want to slide, but we're going to stop there and just let that arm hang for a few breaths. And again, if it gets uncomfortable, you can shorten that lever by bending the elbow or just coming back to rest. Breathing into the right side of the chest. With each breath, you may notice a little more release. With our next inhale, let's lift that arm back up and return to hands together. And then we'll come to the other side. You can just rock all the way over or stop here in the middle to realign the spine. And I apologize, my back's going to be to you for a moment. Let's get our hands on top of each other, stacking the knees. And then when you're ready, inhale that left arm up. Let it begin to arc over until the knees feel like they want to shift, but keep them there. Let that twist remain in the upper back. Just breathe. With the next breath in, bringing that arm back over. Rolling onto our back, just rock side to side for a moment. And back to center. And then releasing just the left leg, keep the right knee pulled in. You can move that knee out and in a few times. Releasing tension in the hips, preparing for our rest. We'll then bring the left knee in. Switch your hands, extend the right leg down to the floor. Just gently move that left knee out and in a few times. Bring it back to center. Right knee returns one more time. Nice big hug. If you want, you can lift your head towards the knees. And then release. And now we're going to settle in for a little bit of rest at the end of our practice. So however you need to set yourself up, take your time. I'll be sitting up in just a moment. I wanted to give you a chance to just see what's possible here in this rest. If you need to place something under your knees or your thighs to give a little bend to them, then you can take a rolled up blanket and place it there. The bolster if you have one. Some people have bolsters at home. And just find your rest here. And as you're settling into that place on the floor, then just take a couple of nice deep breaths. You might even want to sigh it out on the exhale, just to release any leftover tension. 2 deep breaths. And then begin to notice the points of contact between your body and the surface underneath it. Maybe starting at the back of the head and noticing if the head feels heavy against the floor or if it feels light. Bringing awareness down to the back of the shoulders. Maybe even allowing the shoulders to rest a little more firmly into that support. And what part of the arms do you feel connected to the floor? Are your palms down or palms up? You can change that if you like, however they are now, and just see how that affects the level of support you feel. And bringing awareness down to the lower back or hips. Noticing again if this part of your body feels heavy against the mat, or if it feels like you're holding tension here, trying to still hold on. And if you notice tension, maybe invite that tension to just release into the floor. And noticing which parts of the legs are in contact. All the way down to the heels. And take a moment to just rest here, completely supported, for a moment of stillness and peace, allowing the body to breathe itself, aware of sensations, but without getting involved with any of them, aware of thoughts while letting them pass through, just resting. You can continue to stay here for a while if you like. Just whenever you feel complete and ready to move into your day, you can begin to blink the eyes open and maybe move a little bit. But feel free to stay here as long as you need. This is your time. This is your practice. The light in me recognizes and honors the light in you. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm glad you were here.
That was lovely. Felt good.